This is a huge mess up.
What if I were to tell you the tone?
If you just shut up and knock that smirk off of your face.
And the accusations.
I have not received a single letter, and you can't provide me a copy of that?
Of this heated conversation.
And now, entire life of me and my daughter in that storage unit, everything
Could all be straightened out with an ordinary 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper.
All that piece of paper is going to show how long you've been late.
A piece of paper that, in the words of Elise Young, is the reason.
everything you can imagine was in there.
The reason just about everything she owned was taken from this storage unit and thrown into the dump.
Tell me where. I will go digging through garbage right now to find my things. And they wouldn't tell me. It's just devastating.
All right, to give you a little background, Elise is a single mom and moved to Tooele in hopes of saving some money to eventually buy a home with her 5-year-old daughter. And part of that saving meant putting a majority of her possessions.
Things that I've financed, things that I've purchased, things that I've worked for, things that,
that would fit into a 10 by 10 storage unit for safekeeping. So she walked into the office at Stansbury Park Storage, filled out the paperwork, signed a lease, and just to make sure that she never missed a payment.
They asked if I wanted to set up on auto pay, and I said, yeah, that would be great.
All right, now to give you a quick refresher on just how auto pay works, you give the business your bank information, and each month they automatically take the money out of your account. It's pretty cool. You don't have to worry about a single thing. That is unless
The very next month comes, and I don't see an auto pay charge come through. And it was never one time run.
unless the money is never taken out. And it didn't happen just once or twice, but
And I had to keep going in and keep going in and keep going in.
Three times, Elise says she went down to the storage units, filled out the paperwork for auto pay,
Personally, I gave you my auto pay. I'm set up on auto pay.
and not once was a $75 payment automatically taken out. And because Stansbury Park Storage says they never received the money,
And it was kind of silent for a minute, and then he comes on the phone and just says, oh, well, it's emptied. And I was like, excuse me, it's what? And he says, it's emptied. And I'm like, what do you mean it's emptied?
almost everything Elise owned was gone. Washer and dryer, electronics, snowboards, mountain bikes.
Family mementos and heirlooms and things that have been passed down to me.
And when she walked into the office looking for answers,
You didn't bother to call me? You have my number plus an emergency contact.
she says the managers placed the blame on her.
According to the computer, you haven't paid for the last 7 months. So what we do know is obviously you did not follow through with your procedure of establishing, your auto pay process that you offer. You never once charged my account. It was declined.
All right, now I want you to hold on there for a moment. Did you catch what she just said?
Declined.
Her credit card declined. But here's the catch. KSL investigators have a transcript of the conversation between Elise and her credit card company where the company states, I don't see any attempts from this merchant. I don't see any attempted decline transactions. So, according to the credit card company, Stansbury Park Storage never attempted to run an auto pay. Hoping to straighten things out, the KSL investigators rolled up to the manager's office. Now, quick side note here as we're making this long walk to the door. It should be known Elise is not the only customer with Stansbury Park Storage who has had an issue with auto pay. We spoke with half a dozen others who, in their own words, said they claimed we were past due and owed fees, even though we had auto pay. Every month, they would forget to pull my payment. They said they didn't receive my payment. They claim they must have entered the credit card information incorrectly. They said my card and information got misplaced. Okay, now that we have a little more background, let's see where this takes us.
Hey guys, how you doing? Good. Mike Hedrick with KSL TV. Are you Barbara?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I talked to you on the phone. Have you guys had issues with auto pay before?
Little mix-ups here and there.
She's saying you guys lost all the paperwork for auto pay, and that's why there's
There's
problems.
just one piece of paper. It has her information on it
Did you lose it?
for her card. No, we didn't lose it. It was out of date.
All right, now pause that for a moment. She says out of date. So let's slide the lease agreement on the screen there. And this is where Elise wrote down her debit card information. Expiration date, take a look, November 2021. That's more than 2 years after her lease was signed. In fact, pull up the official tenant ledger and it shows that very same card ending in 2489 was used and accepted right here for the initial payment and right there the month after Elise says that the auto pay didn't go through and she had to pay in person. Heck, while we're looking at documents, the only one nobody seems to be able to get their hands on
There's a carbon copy.
is the official auto pay form.
But there's no carbon copy of the auto pay agreement.
Right.
Why is that?
That's the way it's made. It's just how the piece of paper is.
I don't want to hear no excuses about we can't find or it cannot locate the paperwork.
Martin Blaustein is with Utah Legal Services and says in this day and age, with just about everything computer-driven, it is tough to believe a copy of that auto pay form is not readily available.
The landlord should be able to go back to their history, go back to their backup files and locate the transaction. There's almost no excuse for not having it documented. It raises the red flag.
He's talking about documentation of auto pay, late notices, phone calls, warnings her property was gonna be dumped. The managers say they did that.
Read past due notices, a phone call, an auction letter.
Do you have documentation of any of those things?
Not that I can give you.
I do need copies of all of the paperwork. I need copies of my original invoices. I need printouts of my invoices.
I will not print anything out.
I have to go through it again.
Unfortunately, the reality is at this point,
Local pawn shops.
just about everything Elise has worked for is gone. She spent months looking online, in the classifieds, at auctions, even neighborhood sales.
Every click I make, it's like my stomach. I'm just like anxious, like waiting to see something that might be mine.
And while nothing will change what she lost, there is one change after weeks of investigating. KSL discovered when we decided to rent a storage unit just 2 days ago.
We can't do automatic pay anymore.
AutoPay is officially on hold. A sudden change Elise believes is because of her story, our investigation, hoping it will save others from the same heartbreak.
Why is my stuff gone? Why? Like, why is it gone? It shouldn't be gone. I trusted you.